Hi, my father used to tell me that people are your greatest resource, and I didn't know what he meant till I was 28 years old. What old dad was getting at was that anything important we do in life, we do with others. And so our ability to engage other people and connect with them, to get things done, to serve people, to help people is really, really central to life success. My name is Michael Angelo Caruso, and I want to talk to you about networking and how I work a room. I've had an extreme amount of experience in this. I'll tell you why in just a second. And if you want to grab a pen and take some notes, we'll show you some great techniques for working your next cocktail party, chamber of commerce reception, business function, trade show, whatever it is, wherever you find yourself with a lot of people. I'll show you how to get it done. I'm going to be reading an excerpt from my new book, which is called Work Hacks. We'll tell you more about that in just a minute. But before I do, I want to tell you how it is that I'm able to meet so many people during my career. I'm so lucky for this. In my 20s, I was in a touring rock band. So, of course, we were playing a lot of crowded rooms where people would come and see us. The audiences were quite large. And in the speaking business now, my audiences are even larger just because of the types of events that I do, conferences, national association events, industry events, annual trade shows, this type of thing. And so I often meet people dozens at a time. I'm meeting them before the event when I'm shaking hands. A lot of times the host or the meeting planner has arranged a reception afterward. I'm meeting dozens of people at a time. And of course, like you, I find myself at Chamber of Commerce receptions and places where there are maybe 100 people in the room. So I want to show you some techniques that I use to get to know a lot of those people in a very short period of time. It seems natural and organic, but you'll see in a second that these are very careful strategies that you will be working to work this networking magic. So let's do the math quickly. Let's just use an easy example. Let's say you go to an event and there are 100 people at the event, and your goal is to meet 80 of them. And not because you're bored, but because maybe you're there for work. Maybe you're in sales, and most of these people are prospects for you. Then you're obligated to try to get to as many as you can and have quality conversations with as many as you can. Let's say you're starting a business and you need to get the word out about it, so you need to meet a lot of people. Maybe you're offering a service that all of these people desperately need. They just don't know it yet. So you're obligated to do what my dad said and go find your greatest resource. Go find these people and meet them and connect with them. And so let's do the math. If you're trying to meet 100 people and you only have a 1 hour reception, you have to meet, even if you met one person every minute, you would only meet 60 people. So if you think about the simple strategy would be you'd have to meet more than one person at a time, right? And that's exactly how this demonstration that I'm giving you works. You would actually interrupt conversations of people that are already taking place. You would interrupt couples who are talking, trios of people who are talking, 3, 4, 5, 6 people that are talking. You would actually insert your way into the conversation. And there's a technique for this, as you might guess, and it's called an apology. You say, "Excuse me for interrupting everyone. I wanted to say hi quickly before the meeting starts." It's a totally legitimate thing to say. And I don't know why more people don't say it, because what most people do is they stay on the outskirts of the conversation. They never interrupt. They never get to meet their greatest resource, and the meeting starts. They've only even had eye contact with 8 people, right? And the company paid for them to go to the reception, by the way, right? So they're missing it in a few ways when they do it like that. So you don't ever have to be that way again. You have my permission to interrupt as long as you apologize and you say, "Nice to meet you. I just wanted to say hi quick before the program starts. My name is Michael Caruso." And you shake their hand. "My name is Michael Caruso. Nice to meet you. I heard you were talking about this. I agree completely. Nice to meet you. Hi, I'm Michael." And now you've met 4 people, not in 1 minute, in 15 seconds. Now, you might say, well, it wasn't a substantial interaction, and that's true, but you now have a chance to process some signals from those other people. You see, not everyone in the room is an equally valuable prospect. My dad was right. People are your greatest resource, but not everyone has equal value, especially in a business setting. But you've had some signals now. It looks like this person might be running the company. Since I sell to people who run the company, presidents and CEOs, I'm going to stay close to him, or I know who he is now, you see? And it's very subtle, but make no mistake, there are strategies at play here. In the book, Work Hacks, And the full title is 300 Cool Ideas to Speed Career Success, right? I have a little topic here called Hacks for Working a Room. And I want to give you the excerpts, the highlights of these 5 ideas so that you can use them at your next gathering, reception, wherever you go to meet people. So this idea, of course, that when you walk into a cocktail party or you walk into a business reception is to achieve what I call conversational dexterity and exercise this thing called insatiable curiosity, right? You're just always asking questions. Hi, who are you? Hi, where are you from? Hi, are you having a good time tonight? Hi, did you have trouble finding the place, right? So there's always a question to ask people. And when you ask people, that's a natural form of engagement, this idea of asking a question. And so I want you to become a question machine at these events, right? So the first idea is that you want to work the parking lot for fun and profit. What I mean by that is not hanging around under streetlight number 7, waving people over, right? I'm talking about the fact that if there are 100 people coming to this event, there's a good chance that everybody coming into the door at the same time you are coming into the reception or to the party. This is called a dovetail, right? Because of the shape of it, dovetail. You're coming from your car, he's coming from his car, and you're dovetailing into the room. And on the way into the hall, you're already working the room by saying, are you here for the such and such party? Nice to meet you. I came from all the way across town. Ooh, traffic was bad. But you're already making that conversation. And by the way, the same strategy works like a charm in the coat line, in the coat room, in the line to register for the event, right? You're working the room before you even get into it. So I call it working the parking lot for fun and profit. Idea number 2 is that you're going to use every opportunity you can to shake hands with people. And so imagine yourself in the registration line, you know, where you're waiting for your credentials or your name badge or whatever it is. By the way, I hate it when we go to these events. We're all dressed up and they make us put a piece of paper on. I don't know why we do that, but I guess and then it falls off like within 10 seconds. What's up with that? So you're in the line, and I say use every opportunity to shake hands within the line, right? So when you're in the registration line, the guy in front of you, the lady in front of you, eventually turns around to see who's behind her. And when she does, you say, hey, how are you? My name's Michael. Now, you don't want to come on with a full court press. My name's Michael Angelo Caruso. I'm a keynote speaker, right? It's too much. But my name's Michael. How are you? And just a little softball, right? Just to see how she feels it. And by the way, you do the same thing with the person behind you, right? So again, you're meeting people in clusters. You can meet 2 people behind you. If you can get both of their attention, nice to meet you. Hey, how are you? Pleasure, right? Sometimes I go to the head of the line and I work my way down the line backwards to get to the back of the line. Now I've met 15 or 20 people and I'm not even in the room yet. How cool is that? So I'm using every opportunity to shake hands. That's tip number 2. Tip number 3 is networking is not about you, it's about the other person. So it's about listening, and it's about processing signals, and it's about paying attention to the signals that people are giving you, right? Are they interested? Do they want to know more? Does it seem like they want to exchange business cards? Because not everybody does. So you've got to figure this out in real time, and it is not easy. It's like a juggling act. But you can get really good at this if you care to. Tip number 4 is you want to have several, not one, several elevator speeches available. And the reason for this is that if you're a salesperson like I am, and I'm selling something, which I usually am, I have that presentation, that little elevator speech ready. An elevator speech, remember, is 10 words or 15 seconds. It's the first segment of the interaction, right? It's the first thing that you say. It's called that because when you get in an elevator with somebody, signals are exchanged, and you have about 15 seconds before one of those people gets off the elevator. That's why it's called the elevator speech. But you can use the elevator speech anywhere. And so this idea then of having several elevator speeches, everybody teaches, well, you should have an elevator speech. I think you should have a few. If you're a salesperson, in my case, I'm a keynote speaker. What brings you here today? If you had a chance to meet the keynote speaker, what would you want him to talk about? And then they laugh and they say, are you the keynote speaker? And I go, yeah, right? And so it's a great conversation. It's a great way to grease the skids and get people talking and, more importantly, make those connections that my dad said were so, so valuable. Several elevator speeches. And then, of course, number 5 in the book is that you want to follow up with a call to action. So it's not necessarily when networking what comes next. It's what comes next after what comes next, right? It's what comes next after I say hello to you. It's what comes next after we exchange business cards. It's what comes next after I go back to my office and you go back to your office. This is what was really important. And the trick is to stay in the moment without seeming too eager about the very next step. You've all met salespeople that do this, like, get their card. Can I call you on Monday? Can I call you in 5 minutes? You want to meet for a drink right afterward? It's too fast. It's too much. And so you've got to be in the moment and a little judicial, right? Judicial meaning careful about the next step. But there is a next step with the people who you want to do business with. And so you're obligated to go there when the time is appropriate. So to review the 5 tips one more time in the Work Hacks book. Number 1, you're working the parking lot or the coat line or the reception line for fun and profit. Number 2, you're using every opportunity to shake hands. Now, I realize not everybody wants to shake hands, and I'm speaking metaphorically. You're using every opportunity to meet people. Number 3, networking is not about you. It's about the other person. That means we're listening more than we're talking. We're asking open questions, which obligate people to answer us and actually engage with us, right? And number 4, we have several elevator speeches available. One if you're the salesperson, one if you're the keynote speaker, one if you're recruiting people for your company, right? You might have a different elevator speech for talking to the presidents of companies versus the customer service people that work at companies. And number 5 is you always want to follow up with a call to action. What are we going to do about all of this? What's our next step? Where are we going from here? This is a brand new book, Work Hacks. It's not even 2 or 3 weeks old, and it's available not only to you. If you wanted to pick up a single copy, you can find it at Amazon or at michaelangelocaruso.com. You can also find get a good deal on a bulk purchase if you know someone, me. So you can send an email to me through the website, and we'll work out a bulk purchase that's very affordable for you and every member of your team. Remember, like my dad said, people are your greatest resource. So let's go out and make friends. Let's go out and further relationships, and let's go out and help people. Thanks for listening. More information about me and what I do at michaelangelocaruso.com, and we'll see you at the next reception.